I'm going to start off this video by saying a huge congratulations to Lane Hutson of the Montreal Canadiens. He just had a stellar year, like 66 points in 82 games, and it really wasn't even really that close. He just ran away with the Calder. Really quite an unbelievable player, an unbelievable talent, and I really hope that the Montreal Canadiens do plan on getting him locked up for the long term. Locking up top tier talent is always going to cost you. There's something in me that says that it is possible that he may hold out, but it is true that he probably just really likes being a Canadian too, so I'm kind of on the fence with this. We are seeing more and more players kind of hold out, especially with the Leafs. A lot of their players, even Mitch Marner now saying, hey, he might not even sign 8 years. He might be looking for a shorter deal. If I was the Montreal Canadiens, I would want to get him locked up 8 years, 100%, and I would be willing to pay. Now, the Sick podcast with Marinaro, they were touching on, speculation about his contract, and he actually made some pretty fair points. He said, if the Montreal Canadiens fans want to see Lane Hutson sign an 8-year deal, they were going to have to come to the reality that, an 8-year deal, he'll end up being the highest paid defenseman in the National Hockey League as we speak, if he signs it. And I've been listening to their podcast, and they were talking about Lane Hutson, and he was making some completely fair points, where a lot of agents go by the percentage of the cap. And we are in a very strange scenario right now, where the cap is going to shoot up, and if the player is up right now, it makes more sense for him to wait, and then just go by percentage of the cap. Marinello drew comparisons between Lane Hutson's potential contract and those of some of the NHL's top defensemen. He noted Penguins' Erik Karlsson earns $11.5 million a year, while the Kings' Drew Doughty and Sabres' Rasmus Dahlin make $11. And honestly, I've been thinking a lot about this. I think that he's going to get paid a lot more than you think. Now, to be fair, he is a restricted free agent. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sign him to whatever contract he wants. Like, you could just hold out and he could hold out. But I understand that a lot of Montreal Canadiens fans are going to want him to sign that 8 years. And to do that, you're going to have to throw a big dollar figure at him. Now, ultimately, Marinaro believed that it would end up being 12 or 12.5 million. And by percentage of the cap, like for example, in a couple of years, the cap is going to be 114 million or something like that, right about 114 million. 12 and 12.5 by percentage of the cap actually is a pretty good deal, especially with a top defenseman like that. Now, when you look at like Charlie McAvoy, Zach Werenski, Adam Fox, they are all in the $9.5 million range, but they signed before, which the percentage of the cap today would be about that. Like, this is the way agents are going to look at it. So I think if they are able to get him within the $9.5 million range, that is an absolute steal. There are some people that are trying to allude to the fact that he might only get like 8.5 million. That is not happening. If you can get him between 9 and 10, I would absolutely take that all day, especially with the cap going up. And this is interesting. I've been looking into the data and facts as well. And AFP Analytics, who's actually pretty great, they have him at a 7-year projected contract. I don't know why they put it at 7 years. I would prefer 8 years at about 10.2 million, something around there. Now, that's a lot more than a lot of other Habs fans want. Some of them want 8.5. They won't go above 9. But with the cap going up, even analytical models are looking at this player as he's probably going to get a lot more than you think. I mean, when you are right there with Cale Makar as an offensive defenseman, I'm not saying he's as good as him all around, but he's right there offensively with how good he's going to be. You're just going to have to pay the man. Okay, so realistic question of the video is, what do you actually think he's going to get? If I had to pick right now, I don't think he's going to get as high as 12 million. I really did. I think that's ridiculous. I think that Lane Hutson will sign 8 years with the Montreal Canadiens. I think that makes most sense for him and the organization, especially if they want to have a Stanley Cup on their mind. And I think he's going to get $10.5 million. I understand to a lot of guys that may actually be a bit of an overpayment, but with the cap going up, I'm telling you right now, you're just going to have to overpay a little bit. I mean, honestly, if this guy can get the same percentage of the cap that Nick Suzuki signed with, I think it was like 9.66% or something like that, I think that would actually even be below 10.5 for next year. That would be an absolute steal for the Montreal Canadiens. Like, it's crazy. There's something in me where I actually think it's possible that he may get a lot less than you think. So maybe I just end up being wrong. I'm just kind of going in the middle of people that are saying, you know, 8.5 million, which is not going to happen, or 12.5 million, which I don't think that's going to happen if he really wants to hold out. I'm kind of just preferring to go in the middle because that's usually the most realistic. It's funny. In a lot of contract negotiations, what happens is the team will just start super low and unrealistic, and you all just roll your eyes, and then the player will start insanely high, and then you just kind of meet in the realistic middle. I think that this is a player that the Habs just absolutely have to get done. I am a little bit worried that it might linger for a bit, which is why you have to get this done ASAP. And also, to add this on top, I'm super excited for the draft. I can't wait. The Habs have 2 selections, and I am really interested in them possibly drafting Carbonneau. Now, again, I'm interested in possibly making a trade. I think that this year's draft is going to be unbelievable. I think there's going to be players moving, picks moving, possibly even top 10 picks moving. I wonder if Montreal will move up or down, but we shall have to see. Anyways, I am going to leave this video here. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys, and make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.